Analyzing the toughest 2025 Big 12 football schedules. When it comes to determining the most challenging schedule in the Big 12, one thing is crystal clear: not all schedules are created equal. The landscape of college football often sees a delicate balance of competition across the board, but as we look ahead to the 2025 season, a pressing question arises: which team will emerge with the toughest slate of games in the league? To delve into this topic, the Deseret News conducted an extensive analysis, employing a careful formula that takes into account both non-conference and Big 12 contests, while also considering various national strength of schedule metrics. Now, let's break down the method they used to arrive at their conclusions. #####, a three-pronged approach to scheduling. The analysis was rooted in three main criteria that shaped how the schedules were evaluated. 1. National strength of schedule rankings. The team's positions in various strength of schedule rankings were utilized. This included resources like the ESPN Football Power Index, the Pro Football Network's strength of schedule figures, and Phil Steele's rankings. By averaging these rankings, teams were then assigned a score, ranking them from the hardest, 1, to the easiest, 16, schedules, subsequently earning points correlated with their ratings. 2. Evaluation of non-conference schedules. Each Big 12 team's three-game non-conference schedule was ranked based on difficulty. Here, significant attention was paid to the caliber of opponents, especially those from powerhouse conferences, and whether those matches were hosted at home or required travel. 3. Assessment of conference schedules. The ranking of conference games leveraged the post-spring Big 12 power rankings, with adaptations made to account for major team changes, like BYU's loss of key players. This evaluation ranked the teams again from hardest, 1, to easiest, 16, based on the difficulty they would face during league play. Factors such as opponent strength, the location of the games, home versus away, and sequences of particularly tough matchups were also integral in determining the rankings. Subsequently, the total scores for each category were combined to produce an overall ranking of scheduled difficulty. Lower scores indicated more challenging schedules, whereas higher totals reflected more favorable matchups. ####, so, who reigns supreme? It's important to underscore that while a team may have a difficult schedule, that doesn't dictate their chances in the pursuit of the Big 12 title. However, the nuances of these schedules can significantly impact the obstacles a team might face throughout the rigorous 12-game journey of the season. ####, top contender, Utah Utes. Schedule Insight *. ESPN's strength of schedule, 58. Pro Football Network strength of schedule, 24. Phil Steele toughest schedule ranking, 32. Average national ranking, 38. Overall points, 11. 2025 schedule overview *. August 30th, at UCLA. September 6th, versus Cal Poly. September 13th, at Wyoming. September 20th, versus Texas Tech. September 27th, at West Virginia. October 11th, versus Arizona State. October 18th, at BYU. October 25th, versus Colorado. November 1st, versus Cincinnati. November 15th, at Baylor. November 22nd, versus Kansas State. November 28th, at Kansas. Beginning their campaign with a notable contest against UCLA, the Utes will have a chance to make an early statement. With a mix of home and away games that includes critical matchups against several of conference heavyweights, the team's competitiveness cannot be understated. ####, second place, Oklahoma State Cowboys. Schedule Insights *. Overall points, 12. 2025 schedule overview *. August 28th, versus UT Martin. September 6th, at Oregon. September 19th, versus Tulsa. Additional schedule details. The Cowboys' road game against Oregon stands out as a significant high-stakes encounter, and their conference schedule is entitled to present many hurdles, with crucial matchups expected against fellow contenders. ###, the controversial takeaway. Amidst all this scheduling analysis, the rankings are bound to ignite discussions and varying opinions. Are the rankings an accurate reflection of expectation, or do they underestimate certain teams' capabilities? Perhaps most intriguingly, do the schedules truly dictate the potential for a title run, or is it the team performance that ultimately holds sway? Feel free to weigh in with your thoughts. Who do you believe deserves the top spot for the toughest schedule? Are there any teams you think might surprise us even with a harder path ahead? Let's ignite a lively discussion below. Phil Steele's 2025 Strength of Schedule Rankings, Georgia Tech's Position, and ACC Preview. As the countdown to the 2025 college football season begins, excitement is building around Georgia Tech, a team that could be on the verge of a significant breakthrough. After achieving back-to-back seasons with 7 wins, the Yellow Jackets, under the leadership of head coach Brent Key, are poised to make a more substantial impact. Key has not only led the team to impressive victories over ranked opponents, but has also enhanced the roster with fresh talent. With a solid mix of returning players, stability in coaching, especially on the offensive side, and a strong influx of recruits from both the transfer portal and high school ranks, many analysts are predicting that Georgia Tech could emerge as one of the top contenders in the Atlantic Coast Conference, ACC. Phil Steele, a highly respected figure in college football analysis, has released his preseason rankings, which are always a highlight for fans and analysts alike during the offseason. According to Steele, Georgia Tech is positioned as a top 5 team in the ACC for the upcoming season, and their schedule is ranked as the 42nd most challenging in the nation. This ranking is particularly noteworthy because the Yellow Jackets typically face one of the toughest schedules in college football. The relatively lower ranking of 42nd has led some national experts to believe that Georgia Tech could play a significant role in the ACC race this year. In contrast, Syracuse is expected to have the most challenging schedule in the ACC, ranked 5th toughest in the entire country. Here's how Phil Steele envisions the ACC standings shaping up. 1. Clemson. 2. Miami. 3. SMU. 4. Louisville. 5. Georgia Tech. 6. Duke. 7. Virginia Tech. 8. Pittsburgh. 9. Boston College. 10. Florida State. 11. NC State. 12. Syracuse. 13. North Carolina. 14. Virginia. 15. Cal. 16. Wake Forest. 17. Stanford. In a recent analysis by CBS Sports, analyst Chip Patterson outlined potential best and worst-case scenarios for Georgia Tech in 2025. He suggested that in the best-case scenario, the Yellow Jackets could finish with a record of 9-3, playing a crucial role in the ACC Championship race with a series of impressive conference victories. However, whether a 9-3 record would be sufficient for at-large consideration in the College Football Playoff (CFP) hinges on their performances against powerhouse teams like Clemson in September and Georgia in November. Achieving 9 wins will require consistent excellence from the quarterback and the ability to perform under pressure in close games. On the flip side, Patterson also presented a worst-case scenario where Georgia Tech could end up with a 5-7 record. This outcome could stem from a challenging 6-game stretch, starting with Virginia Tech on October 11th and concluding with Pittsburgh on November 22nd, where each game is projected to be closely contested. If the Yellow Jackets were to struggle during this period, perhaps finishing with a 2-4 record, they might find themselves in a precarious position heading into the final week of the season, needing a win just to qualify for a bowl game rather than solidifying a playoff bid. Despite having one of the most favorable schedules in recent years, it's unlikely that Georgia Tech will be favored by double digits in any matchups, except for games against Gardner-Webb, Temple, and possibly Wake Forest. The 7 games against teams like Virginia Tech, Duke, Syracuse, Pittsburgh, Boston College, NC State, and Colorado are expected to be tightly contested, with Georgia Tech either slightly favored or viewed as underdogs. While much attention will be on the high-stakes games against Clemson and Georgia, securing victories in these crucial matchups will be vital for the Yellow Jackets this season. They must navigate these challenges carefully to avoid any unexpected setbacks.